through the research seminar that we're going to have today. We're very lucky to be joined by an internal team of Kathy, Nikos, Maria, Regine, Birya, and I've already mentioned Kathy, but we'll start off with Heather. So just to remind you of the rules, Heather, it's the standard research seminar rules, so you've only got 10 minutes. With that, we're running it as a meeting today, so just we will pause for questions after each presentation, so you'll be able to ask questions, and I'll just be able to unmute you, and you'll be able to ask your question to the speaker. So first up today, we've got Heather, and I've got a little script that I need to keep an eye on as well. So Heather, over to you.
Thanks, Tom. And we really are going to try and do this with Tom, because of my IT issues, remotely clicking buttons based on a script. Now, normally I can't introduce myself in less than 10 minutes, but you know who I am, so let's move on. Are you sharing your screen, please, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. So, research, relevance, and retirement. So, as you can see from this, my place management, marketing, and branding research has spanned my entire academic career, which, considering I started very late in life, has taken 22 years. So I'm quite surprised about that. I've got quite a lot of output. I'm still working. I've still got stuff in review. But I have been lucky enough to be able to base some of this research on the things that I love best, like Gavin and Stacey, leading to the publication of What's Occurring, Barrison's Gavin and Stacey, very place related. Not all of my research has been place related, especially early on. It was mostly in the marketing of services, but I very quickly moved on to place-based research, particularly tourism-based research, and contextualize it to the places that are important to me. So I was lived in Barry for about 14 years before I moved to Greece, and looking at this TV program and why the place hadn't capitalized on the amazing positive publicity it was getting, it was quite a shame. But I also love music, and in particular this band here, Show of Hands, a contemporary folk rock band, and they bringing up the next article that I've written in Arts and the Market about the representation of English identity in contemporary folk song. But I also love a bit of reality TV. I can't help myself. And especially when that reality TV is based about Corfu. And that's where I live. I lived on the bottom on the right-hand side, just before the bottom of the island sort of hooks over to the right, that tiny little bend there. That's where I am. And that's led to not one publication, but many publications. It's led to a number of publications about Kavos, which is down in the very wild south of Corfu. So Tom, if you could bring that article up. And we're still working on that, Nicola, Julia, and I have promised them that before I retire, the final iteration will be revised and sent off. It is one of the 5 papers I've got in revision. But I also love food and drink. Anyone who's been to the symposium will recognize this photograph. It is the table laid out for us to just, oh, look at the food we get. So again, that article has led to an ongoing research. Sorry, I'm hearing somebody else.
Yeah, don't worry, I've just muted them.
Oh, okay. So food and drink. So bringing up the article on this was about authenticity and food, again, from the tourist experience, because what I find is that living on a tourist island that's got an amazing food culture and different from Greek food culture generally, because we've got very specific food based on our geographical location, which is to the east of the heel of the boot of Italy and to the west of the Greek mainland's sort of almost northern border with Albania. So we've got a lot of interest, and often there is not that much in what's happening in practice that locates the place of the food. And tourists are saying, you know, they want authentic, local, speciality products, and they're not getting them. But not all of my research is based on the stuff that I just eat, drink, listen to, and watch. Some of my other research highlights include this paper that Kathy should know well. It was what sort of sparked off really my serious research into place management, Journal of Marketing Management. The shame is that in 2008, that article was published about how we're not getting it right, how we're not defining our terms correctly. And in 2020, there's still that evidenced in the literature. But I also do research that can be longitudinal, or at least continue over a number of years and be examined from different angles. Now, I did this work into business tourism. That also started in 2008. But after I made a presentation about this work, it was Kathy's encouragement, and thank you, Kathy, about the value of the research that led me to a further journal article that was published in 2017. So this research into business tourism has gone on quite a bit, and it's relating Cardiff and Dublin and how they're managing the business and the conference meetings in incentives, conference and exhibitions, MICE tourism. But 2017 was a very, very busy year for me because I also guest edited a special issue of JPMD on responsible tourism. And that arose from the Visiting Places SIG that I've been leading and the Corfu Symposium, which leads me beautifully on to my second issue of Relevance. And here, I also co-chair the Academy of Marketing, Place Marketing and Branding Special Interest Group with Vish Maheshwari, and regularly go to their conferences, although that's been stymied by my ill health. I work closely with Martin and Robert at IPBA. But one thing I will say, there has been absolutely nothing in 22 years of an academic career, as far as relevance goes, that can match the work I'm doing with IPM. And, you know, particularly the Corfu Symposium on Managing and Marketing Places, which takes us beautifully on to my last but one slide. And I really am going to stick to time, Tom, and I know you can't believe me. So we have our logo, which then obviously dates change, but you can see some of the people that have been at the symposium. The first one, that was a ragtag of people, but sported, as you can see from Kathy's inclusion in the photograph there, as CPD for IPM from day one. And then with Kathy's involvement, and as it grew, IPM took it under their wing from 2017 for the final 3. And the second picture shows a large number of people. The final picture, we had more than that at the symposium. We ended on a great high, but a lot of them didn't make the conference dinner. But as far as I'm concerned, my work, all from looking back over a 22-year career, I can see a thread running through the work. And it is about the research that is relevant to place. It's about making sure that what we do makes a difference. And I have been, and this is where I'm not going to be able to hold it all together now. And this is where I can look back knowing that I'll be done. And as of the 31st of December, I think that I've made some sort of a difference. And my research has spanned so many issues of managing, marketing and branding places. But as of the 31st of December, I'll be happily heading into retirement, and I'm going to be doing lots of this. This is me being papped by, well, the Greek paparazzi at one of my favorite restaurants on the island, where I'll be doing a lot of drinking wine and looking back in delight at having had such a rewarding and hopefully relevant academic career that's been underpinned by place-based research. How did I? That is the first time I've ever done a whole presentation in 10 minutes. Yamas.
Well done, Heather. Was I very good on doing the slides?
You were
for you?
awesome. You were awesome. We didn't even practice that, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with that, we'll move swiftly on because obviously I know time. So, Heather, are you still looking at the screen?
I am looking at the screen that says I have a secret to tell you. This is not actually retirement seminar, it's your virtual retirement do. Oh, you lot.
So Heather, if I stop sharing,
Oh, you
if I
lot.
stop sharing
What
the
am I
screen,
do with you? Oh, now I've lost it. Now I have completely lost it.